Welcome back. In this video we're going to be reviewing the new project that I just got for $1,500. Let's see what you get. So this is my 2008 Nissan Pathfinder Se with all-wheel drive, and I purchased it for $1,500. And as you might think, it's a good deal or not. Actually, I have no idea if it's a good deal, so please let me know in the comments below if I paid enough after you watched all of the video, as I'm gonna go through this car and show you all of this flaws, because there is quite a lot of them, and I probably got screwed anyway. So let's get going on the back and see what this car has or doesn't have. One thing that you probably have noticed right away is that the car kind of sits at the back. The back suspension is more compressed than the front one. Well, the reason for that is this car has been sitting for a good part of 3-4 years. I have no idea, but it was not driven a lot in the past several years, and the suspension on the back especially got messed up quite a lot. It's all rusted, the springs are broken. In one case it's broken, the other one is just expanded way beyond its proportion. The whole suspension would need to be rebuilt. And this car has spent most of its time in Brooklyn, New York. So as you might see, there's a dent here, scratch, which I'm gonna have to fix all these tiny things. The front, it had the bull bar, as people call it here. It's been removed, but over here the bumper is crashed as well. The whole hood has these holes from stones and deep scratches all over the place, especially over here. And another dent on this fender. The wheels have, well, another scratch. The wheels are dry rotted, as you can see. They need to be replaced. I cannot drive on these. Another rusted scratch. So from the outside, it's just the minor scratches, some minor rust spots, wheels, and suspension. That's not it. This side doesn't even have a, no, actually this one does have a fender liner. The other side doesn't have a fender liner. Another scratch on this side. This piece is rusted through and there is no key, so I'm going to have to find a way to remove it. Yeah. Oh, and if you would look from the back, you might see the back wheel sits a lot in, because of the suspension. The right side is not as bad, but it's still, actually it's worse. Yeah, so the whole rear suspension have to be rebuilt, and since I'm going to be doing the rear, I'm going to be doing the front ones as well. So let's get inside and see what we have. On the inside, this used to be a smoker's car, so you have some smoke things, burn things over here. It doesn't look too bad. The seats are in good shape, but it does smell horrible in here. We'll get to that stuff in a minute. So here is the key, and I have another pair. I've been already cleaning a bit because it was much worse than what it is right now. I couldn't actually sit in here without gloves. Now it's more or less okay, but it's not done. So let's put the key inside. All right, works. It has 180, almost 185,000 miles. Starts right up. The check engine light is for the O2 sensor. The tire pressure warning light blinking because the batteries on the wheels are dead. It does come with this kind of a stereo and a backup camera that works. I've already cleaned up the main source of smell. That was the air filters on the cabin. Unfortunately, I don't have those filters to show you, but it was really nasty and it smelled horrible. There was few mice that in it for sure. I only saw one, but I'm pretty sure that's not the one, not the only one. Other than this is the only cosmetic part that's on the interior. That's, well, that one, and if you go to the back seats, they're a little bit scratched as well. One thing that I liked about this car and some older cars is the way the seats fold, which is kind of amazing. Boom, and then you can put this thing down and you have a flat floor all the way from the back to here. Love it, beautiful thing. I'm kind of upset that not a lot of cars have that, but yeah, I guess what do I know. But the whole row goes flat like that. And it does have a storage, a hidden storage. It also has a third row seating, which is kind of nice, but it's really tight. Can I even get to it right now? Because I already have quite a few parts delivered, which we're gonna go through it. Okay, on the tailgate side, it works, except that window, it doesn't stay up, so the struts will need to be replaced. I'm already waiting for them. These are all the parts that we got. This is the main thing that I have no idea how to fix, because it is not bolted down. There is nothing to bolt down to. There are just two holes for the nuts, and that's it. I don't know what the other side left. So here we already got quite a few parts, and I'm gonna get them with me as we're gonna go around. And actually I'm gonna spray this thing inside the AC, and it's gonna prevent it from smelling like it smells already. It does have a self-tightening mechanism, and it holds even though that part is broken. Then we have this window, which I kind of like, because you can stick something long in here and you don't have to sacrifice having the whole thing open. So this part is rusted through, as we mentioned. So yes, let's get. Oh, actually, on the passenger side, I really love this feature that this car has, and that's with this seat. So it has a handle, and that puts your seat in this position. That's not much. You can move it. It's all manual operation. But then you have this handle, and if you pull this handle, it makes the seat go flat. That's great. And if we're gonna do the same thing on this side, then we pretty much have open space from the front of the car to the back, and if you want to open the window, we can stick something out of it. So potentially I can stick a kayak inside of here and it will fit. Potentially. I would have to test that theory though. So one of the things that I use in the cars when they are smelly is this thing. I'll have all the links for this car that I bought, all the items that I bought in the description below. But essentially I'm going to be spraying it inside that vent place, because that's where the air filter sits for the cabin. I'm going to spray it in. It's going to foam up and disinfect the whole place. And also it's good to spray it inside each vent, and it's not gonna smell, or at least not gonna smell as bad as it used to. So just have to go around and fill in each vent. Beautiful thing. That smell, it smelled like a public man's bathroom. So not beautiful, as you might imagine. So the hood I keep open for now because the latch doesn't really work. And here it has the 6-cylinder, 4-cylinder V6 4-liter engine. It works perfectly. I have nothing against it. The only thing I do have against it is that AC doesn't really work. So I'd have to replace the either I have to fix the compressor, or I would need to replace the compressor altogether. From my guess, the only issue that it has is that the clutch on the compressor doesn't engage. On the other note, the headlights are really bad, and the air filter needs to be put in a new one because the old one was horrible, and there was also mice living in it. So let me shut off the engine, and ooh, it really smells nice. Ooh, I like that. Let me check. Oh, I got a mix of both. So let me finish this as I'm sitting here. So here I pulled out the old filter. As you can see, it's not really dirty, but it started to mold on this side from all the stuff that mice bring. So out with the old and in with the brand new. It actually feels lighter, reducing a few grams out of the car for better fuel economy. I'm gonna put that in a moment, but I wanted to just show you a bit of things that happen here. So right now, what we're looking at is this support. You see, this is a bracket, and it's poking up, and it's actually supposed to be looking down. So apparently someone have drove into this and bent it inward. So I already have that on order, because the one thing that I ordered and I have on the back of this car is bent. That would need to be replaced with another new one. And then let's look under the car, because that's where all the problems seems to be, all the expensive ones. Right, so we are under the front of the car. This is the driver's side, and as you can see, all of this is beautifully rusted. Actually, I love how they made this runoff for oil from oil filter. That will make this job really easy. But a lot of stuff is really rusted that would need to be replaced. This is the driver's side suspension, all rusted and all going to be replaced except that knuckle. I already ordered it, and the front suspension is right here. Yeah, other than that, it does not look too bad, just quite a bit of rust. So let's move to the back. Okay, so here we are at the driver's side rear suspension, and yeah, it's also really rusted. Not as bad as in the front, but also some parts are rusted more than the others. All the ball joints are done, and the spring, it should not be like this. As you might see, it pushed a little bit that way to the right, to the inside of the car, and it's really wide. I already have a new one to have it replaced, and it is not as wide though. So either the one that I found that says it fits this car, it will not, or something else is going on. Let's go to the other side, because it has more fun stuff to see. Alright, so this is the passenger side rear suspension. Look at these hangers. It is yuck. It's really rusted. I would have to clean this up I found this is supposed to be a ground for something. I don't know what it was for. If you know, please let me know, because I have no clue. But here it is, the rear suspension, and you might notice that this spring is actually broken. So that could be the reason these back tires are looking to the inside so much. Other than that, does not look too bad, well, except the rust. So the back suspensions are already also ordered, and yep, it's on the way. Oh, and this is the example of that part that I ordered, and also a lesson to always open boxes when you receive them, because this one arrived like that. It should not be, it should be straight, but it's more like step for something. So I reached out right away, and they said that the new part is already on the way. Hopefully they will protect it better than this one. They said that I can keep this one, but what's the point of that? So here I have the sensors, the handle for the back window, the latch for the hood. These are all the steering components. All of that's the steering components. This is the lower control arms and the upper control arms for the front, with links, new links for the front as well. These are links for the back, new oil, new filter, new blade for the back. So I'm just going to kind of fix a few things while I'm at this. So you might have noticed that I have an ankle grinder here in the trunk, and that is because I'm gonna do the first fix of this car. First I'm gonna put some safety equipment. Garden gloves will have to do. And we will have to cut off this rust spot, because that's the place that I'm most likely going to hurt myself. So let's try to get rid of it. So just a little while later, I have all these parts taken out. Look at this, it's all rusted through. Had to go through the hard measures of breaking this apart, but it worked. Probably was not the easiest way to do it, but anyway, it's done. I'm glad it's done. So this is the car and all the problems that it has, and as you see, I already have quite a few parts delivered. I think for $1,500 I might have paid a bit too much for all the problems that it has, since I already invested over $1,000 in parts, and there is about another $1,500 or more that I would have to spend just to make this car safe to drive on the road, especially with the brakes. They barely exist, and it was really sketchy to drive this car home. But other than that, I think it'll be a beautiful car for the winter, and hopefully I'll make some upgrades along the way to make it more off-road worthy and take it off-road, because I personally don't have any cars that will go off-road and I will not be afraid to scratch anything on them. And this would be the first, since it already has a lot of scratches. I would have to fix them, and of course I would have to make the videos about how I fix this car. So if you would like to follow along and see the progress on it and what kind of fixes I'm going to be doing and tricks and everything, stay tuned and look for other videos with this car on my channel. For now, I will say goodbye, and I will see you next time. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. It will help me a whole lot and will motivate me to make more videos, since I'm pretty sure that no one's gonna even see this one. So bye, and I hope to see you again.